I mentor a few wrestlers a year, and when I first start out talking to them about how they can get to the next level, most of them are at a plateau where they haven't improved, actually gone backwards over a short period of time, and they couldn't figure out what it is. And they say to themselves, I'm working hard, just as hard as I can. I'm actually working harder and harder each and every day, and I've been doing this for a long period of time, and I don't see the results. And I ask them what their schedule is like, and I'm just amazed at what their schedule is like. Nowadays, I feel wrestlers, especially youth wrestlers, overgrind. They embrace the grind too much, where they put in too much work. They work all the time, every single day, nonstop, consistently for a long period of time. And one time I asked a wrestler that I was starting to mentor, tell me what your schedule is like. And I was amazed that his schedule was a 7-day-a-week schedule. He was doing something every single day, and he's been doing that for 6 months. And the first thing I told him is that you need to rest. You need to cut back, and you need to not grind as much. And obviously he thought I was kidding. He thought my answer would be that you should continuously do more, because our wrestling mentality is always do more. And he was actually amazed that he can get more results by doing less. And Tim Grover has a new book out. It's called Winning. And in one of his chapters, he basically says, stop grinding, become a sculptor. And that's hits the nail exactly on the head. Imagine if you have a piece of clay and you have to mold a sculpture out of it, right? You're making a sculpture. Eventually, the first thing you're going to do in that piece of clay, the large piece of clay, is you're going to grind it down. You're going to grind it down till you get to some sort of formation, some sort of shape. And once you get to a shape where you can actually see it and you're seeing it develop, you don't grind anymore. Because if you continuously grind, you grind it right into dust and the shape will go away. So what we're telling people to do, what I'm telling people to do, is actually grind less, sculpt more. Imagine you get that piece of clay shaped and you can see it. You're trying to make a face or a bust or a face of a person. And all of a sudden, you're grinding it down to where you can actually have a head. And you see the formation of that head. Now, if you keep grinding, it's going to go away. That head's going to go away. It's going to grind all the way down to dust. So at the point where you're starting to get shape, where you're starting to put the work in and you're getting something out of it, the best thing to do is take out a sculpture, become a sculptor. Take the fine-tune everything at that point. Fine-tune the face, cut out the dimensions, see the features. The little details actually become more important than grinding everything away. And I think exactly what happens with wrestlers for a long period of time, they have this mentality that they just continuously have to do the work, put in more work, do more. Everything is always do more. That's what a wrestling mentality is. We just go get back to work. Everything that happens, we get back to work. We do work more. You know, if you're not working 6 or 7 days a week, you know, you're letting your competition, make strides on you, or you're not making strides on your competition. Well, I'm telling you right now, stop embracing the grind. You're grinding too much. So what you need to do is, after you've put in the time and you grind it away and you haven't seen the results, grind less, sculpt more. And when you're sculpting, might be resting, giving your body and your mind a day off. You become more acute. You have more clarity of what your focus is. You're basically putting in less time, you're giving your mind and your body a day to rest, and you come back stronger. You'll have more belief, more confidence, and more enthusiasm in your training at that period of time. So pulling back a little bit gets you forward. It's a trampoline effect. You push down and you go up. And exactly what's happening when you grind too much. You never have that trampoline effect. You never give yourself the rest. You're grinding always more. And it's the law of diminishing returns. And if you find yourself putting in more and more time and getting less and less out of it, well, what I would tell you to do at that present time is to become a sculptor. What does it mean to become a sculptor in wrestling? Well, to become a sculptor in wrestling means working smarter and harder. You already got the working harder part. You're grinding away. But if you continuously only do that, you're going to grind yourself into dust. So now you have to add the working smarter part. The working smarter part is counterintuitive. A wrestler's brain doesn't work by working less and doing less. We always think by doing more we'll get more. Well, when you reach the law of diminishing returns, that's not true. So if you're finding yourself getting to that point, you have to do less. And you got to trust yourself that that's the right thing to do. So become a sculptor might mean giving your body a month off. I know it's a lesson we want to hear after COVID. Everyone has probably not as worked as hard as they could, probably haven't had the opportunity to be able to in the high schools or the gyms or whatever the case may be. So this may not be the exact time, but there will reach a time where you're working too much. And when you reach that point and you feel yourself not getting the results that you want, you got to pull back. And that's the working smarter part. So what do you do when you pull back? Well, you teach yourself. You learn something. You learn something about the sport. Maybe you're researching videos or watching or doing mind training at that present time. Maybe reading books or watching movies. But you're taking away and you're giving your body a time to rest. So when you get back to it, it's actually going to be more responsive to your training. So by grinding constantly, you're going to grind yourself to a point where you're going to get law of diminishing returns. Sculpting might be taking one aspect of your wrestling game and really making it take shape. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, study the best people on top. See what they do. See what their mentality is like. See what made them that way. See what their mental approach is to the game. So again, giving your body a rest, using your mind at the present time. That doesn't mean you stop working. I'm not telling you to take time off and just continuously take time off. That's not the point. The point is when you continuously put in the work over and over and over again, your muscles and your body and your physique actually doesn't respond to the training anymore. So what you need to do is you need to give it time to rest. What I've always done with my sons and people I've ever mentored is basically tell them to take the month of August off. No wrestling. And what that basically does is about 4 months prior to the season, and it gives them just the clarity, come back with a great, you really want to desire working out. Once you call something the grind, it's really a negative connotation. And if you're putting in and it's a grind to you at this present time, that really means you're not looking forward to it. It's something that you don't want to do, but you have to do. And that's not something you want to put into your mind. With your mind, you want to look forward to your training. You want to be the first one in the gym and last one out. And basically, to me, when you call something a grind, that's not exactly the way you want to look at your training. So by taking a month off, or by just during that particular month, maybe just lifting, maybe conditioning, maybe whatever the case may be. Now I say this because we always wrestled a ton of matches. I'm talking a lot of matches. We always had more than 100 match schedule for the year. Probably 50 in high school and another 50 to 60 in the off season. And before high school, it's probably 100 matches, for the whole year. So I know something a little bit about getting a lower diminishing returns, putting in too much where you don't get the results that you're looking for, but you're even working harder and harder. So this is not coming from a place where just, reading it in a book. It's coming from the place of actually realizing that you can be working too much. And when you get to that point where you don't feel you're getting the results anymore, you got to work smarter. And working smarter might be, like I said, it might be rotating where 1 week you're putting in your mind training, and another week you're putting in your physical training. You might put it on and off, but you have to come up with a plan, whatever that plan is for you, to put in less physical time and more time where you're actually learning something else about the sport. And what you'll find is once you do that, your body will respond, after that rest. If you're working 7 days a week, doing something physical 7 days a week, it's not sustainable. You could do that for a week, 2 weeks, a couple of weeks, but once you start doing that for a really long period of time, again, your results are going to get less and less, and you're going to be working more and more and getting less and less results. So when this basically a video is about stop embracing the grind, it's really about stop only embracing the grind. You got to throw rest in there also. You got to work on other areas of your game, and by doing that, you're going to put the full package together. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If so, please let me know in the comment section. Take care now.